This is section 1.7 part 3, where we are again going to solve an absolute value equation, and we are going to check for extraneous solutions. So another great reason to check your answer is sometimes with absolute value equations, when you solve them, you will get an answer, but that answer won't satisfy the original equation, meaning when you plug your answer into the equation and check it, the check will come out false. It'll come out negative. It won't work. All right, and that is what we call an extraneous solution. So I've got a couple definitions here. An extraneous solution is a false solution, meaning it doesn't satisfy the original equation when checked. So to get a better understanding, what we'll do is we'll solve this problem, and then we'll check our answers, and one of them in this case will be extraneous. So our problem is the absolute value of the expression 2x plus 6 equals 4x. So we'd like to solve this. So I need to take the expression inside the absolute value bars, which is 2x plus 6, and set it equal to the expression on the other side of the equation. Then I'm going to take the same expression from inside the absolute value bars, 2x plus 6, and set it to the opposite of this expression, so the opposite of 4x. So now we've got two equations here that we need to solve. So we'll start out with the one on the left-hand side. So we want to combine our like terms. So we see we've got 2x and 4x, so we want to combine those together. So I'm going to subtract 2x from each side. So 2x minus 2x is 0, which is good. That canceled. And I get 6 equals, and we see 4x minus 2x is 2x. The last thing I need to do is to detach the 2 from the x. So I'm going to divide both sides by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1, so those cancel. And x equals 3. Now I'm going to come to the other equation. And so we know 2x plus 6 equals the opposite of 4x, or negative 4x. So I'm going to subtract 2x from each side. 2x minus 2x is 0. 6 equals negative 4x minus 2x is negative 6x. I want to detach the negative 6 from the x, so I'm going to divide both sides by negative 6. Negative 6 divided by negative 6 is 1, so those cancel. 6 divided by negative 6 is negative 1. So we've got two answers, x equals 3 and x equals negative 1. So we want to make sure we check both of these by inserting them into the original equation. So let's come down here and check. So we've got the absolute value of 2x plus 6 equals 4x. And I'm going to have that written twice because I have to check both answers. So we already know one of them is going to be extraneous because I told you, but in reality, when you're solving these problems, you have no idea if one of them is extraneous or not. So that's why you want to make sure you check. So let's start here with x equals 3. So I'm going to plug 3 in for x. So we got 2 times 3 plus 6 equals 4 times 3. Going to evaluate both sides of the equation independently from each other. So I've got the absolute value of 2 times 3 is 6. Drop down the other 6 equals 4 times 3 is 12. We know 6 plus 6 is 12, so we've got the absolute value of 12 equals 12. And then coming down here, the absolute value of 12 is 12. So we see 12 equals 12, which is correct. So we know x equals 3 works. All right, these two numbers match. We're in good shape. X equals 3 is a proper solution. So let's come and check x equals negative 1. So I'm going to plug negative 1 in for x. So we've got the absolute value of 2 times negative 1 plus 6 equals 4 times negative 1. So 2 times negative 1 is negative 2 plus 6. And 4 times negative 1 is negative 4. Now this may be pulling up a red flag for some of you. And if you notice, we've got an absolute value on the left side. And what do we have on the right side? A negative number. Can you ever have the output of absolute value be negative? No. Alright, so if you see this and recognize this, automatically you can say, hey, this isn't right. Something's wrong here. This must be extraneous. But if you don't catch it, you can go ahead and continue to evaluate the left side. And we'll do that, and you'll see that the numbers are going to end up not matching. So we've got -2 plus 6 gives me 4. So we've got the absolute value of 4 equals -4. And what's the absolute value of 4? Well, that's +4. And does +4 equal -4? No, it doesn't. So this is not true. So thus, x equals -1 is not one of our solutions. X equals -1 is what we call extraneous, which means it's false. It's a false solution. That's how you check for extraneous solutions.